How everybody doing? It's Mike Sykes, Millionaire Maker. And with me, I'm making millionaire. All right, let's see, 78, 79. So this is day 80. Day 80 of my 365-day YouTube content creation challenge, where I challenge myself for the next 365 days to create valuable and useful content that I can post on my YouTube channel to try and help somebody out. All right, and like I say, this is day 80. So that means I've been sitting up here. I've been posting a video for the last 80 days. Okay, that's almost 3 months straight. Time's moving on. So, cause we almost in almost the last week of the first quarter, first 3 months of the year, 2021. This day is March 20. Well, it's the 22nd, Monday the 22nd, Tuesday the 23rd. What today is just a recap update. Okay. I went to the bank. I put in an application for a line of credit. Okay. What that was? Wood Forest. That's my bank where I got my OP property and holding account. Okay, been banking with them for a couple of years now. But I know they pull from Experian, but I know my Experian report ain't too good. I also did manage to go to the post office and mail out my letter to TransUnion. Okay. They also, TransUnion gonna send me a card telling me they put a fraud alert on my account. This here came from, I don't know who it's from, but it's supposed to be a legal paper stating that there's a class action suit out against TransUnion for just blatantly responding to credit disputes without doing an investigation or anything else. And it's supposed to be Norman versus TransUnion. And what it's saying is that they have a class action suit against TransUnion, and my name is part of it. And I have two options. I can continue to be a part of this class action suit against TransUnion, and if and when anything happens with this suit, if I continue, I can either be a part of the monetary or whatever gains it gets, or whatever the outcome is, or if nothing happens, get nothing. But remaining in the class action suit, I give up my right to sue them myself. Now, for me, that's like a dilemma. You know, it makes me think, well, what should I do? And so they say they already have a class action suit against them. Should I, and I'm a part of it, should I stay with that and give up my rights? Or should I go ahead and try and sue myself? Okay? I'm really thinking that I'm going to try and sue myself. Okay? One person in the university, I'm just going to call it the university. It's YouTube University. So when I say the university, you know what I mean, YouTube University. Okay, one person tonight, I caught one person that did a post, okay, saying that Biden did sign a bill eliminating $1 billion in student loan debt. You know, mostly and hopefully to people that attended ITT and Everest Online. Okay, both of those schools eventually closed and were being sued for unfair practices and things like that. Okay, for misleading and deceptive actions. Okay, in recruiting students. Okay, misleading them about certain instances like hey, you can come to school on grants and scholarships. Then you find out that, hey, you're taking out $100,000 worth of student loans, or or hey, we have programs that, hey, we can get you job placement programs. We can get you placed in jobs, but then come to find out that they don't have nothing. We're accredited. Come to find out they're not accredited. If you do want to transfer, your credits will transfer with you. Come to find out your credits don't transfer with you. Okay, all these things are what ITT and Everest Online, which going over the paperwork, had a bunch of names. Okay, and I attended both of them and racked up like $110,000 worth of student loan debts going to both of these schools, of which neither one of which I was able to graduate from, neither one of which I was able to achieve my associate's degree. Okay, and these student loans have been haunting me since 2015. Okay, so that's like 7 years. And since, like I say, she was about the only one that did the post on Biden doing this. Okay, they've been talking about things like this. There's all these different programs for all these different things, but the problem with it is that everybody wants you to pay $250, $300, $400, $500, $600 just for them to fill out the application. Okay, you got tax problems. All right, they got tax amnesty, but it's $400 to fill out an application. Okay, you got these bad student loans. Okay, they got programs for this, just for these specific schools, ITT and Everest, and you can't get access to the paperwork without somebody. It's got to be an entity that's filling it out for you for $400. Okay, $500. Okay, other than that, you're just stuck with it. And that seems to be my situation. Now, somebody was saying one day, okay, he was saying that, I was watching him on a podcast, and he was saying that what he was doing was he was preaching to the wrong crowd. Okay, and he was preaching to people that was not his flock. And I understood what he meant when he said that, because he said, what the Bible says that my sheep will know my voice. Okay, and so that what it means is that, like, these videos are not for everybody. Okay, there's out of all the billions of people out here in the world, there are a select few that these videos will resonate with. Okay, and those people will be people that are in my situation. Okay, my situation is a very unique situation. It's a very unique situation in some ways, but in some ways it's not unique, because I know there are a lot of people out there in my very same situation. Okay, there are a lot of people out there that the government and the state are just screwing them with no Vaseline. All right, I've been paying child support for well, hell, as long as I've been down here for 14 years this last year, and I think it's only been like 2 or 3 years that I didn't work. So all the rest of the time I've been working, they've been collecting child support. Now the thing about that is, they have no right to this child support. Okay, for the simple fact that when my daughter was 4 years old, my daughter was 4, my son was 3, my other daughter was 2, my children were. The state came in and took my children from me. I had, as we could say, I had substance abuse problems, and me and my wife, we had substance abuse problems, and God rest her soul. And the state came in and took our children, and subsequently took every child we had after that. Okay, and we had 9 children, but my daughter was 4, my son was 2, 3, and my other daughter was 2, and the state came in, took them. By November, the end of the year, by November, our parental rights were terminated. By February of the next year, they were adopted out. Okay? Now, at that time, when they were adopted out, all parental rights terminated, all child support is supposed to end. Stop. No more child support. But the state of Michigan, in their infinite ways, continued to charge me child support every month for the next 14 years until my daughter turned 18. Or until I found out about it, which was when after my kids got big, started producing kids, because I never worked in Detroit. Here's the whole thing. In Detroit, when I lived in Detroit, I never worked. I grew up in the streets. I was in the streets for a whole lifetime. For over 20 years, I was in the streets, okay? I was in the streets, period, okay, for 20 years. And like I said, I never worked until subsequently my first wife, my children's mother, she passed. She passed in 2004, okay? And in 2004, the summer, which was the end of June, early July, I moved to Atlanta. Now, when I moved to Atlanta, my sister came and got me, brought me down here to Atlanta, me and my cousin and my mother. And what she did was she had an apartment. In West Atlanta, okay, and that apartment off of Cascade she gave to my cousin and her son. And me and my mother, what she did was she had an apartment over on Cascade. She had a house that she was renting in Riverdale, and she had just got married same day, June 4th, same day my wife died, she got married, and they had a brand new house in College Park. Now, when she came and got us and brought us back to Atlanta, and like I say, she gave my cousin her apartment. She took the money from her house in Riverdale, the rent money from that, and she found me and my mother an apartment over in College Park down the street from her off of Godby Road. And she paid the first month's rent in that apartment, and we got the utilities turned on. And she took us around. She quit her job. She was a truck driver. She quit her job, and she took us around for the first week to help us all find jobs. Me, my mother, and my cousin, and we all went out. And my cousin found a job first. Then she took me on a trip where we went job hunting, and this is how when I look back, I can say it all was God. It was God directing every step of the way, because there have been times when she had been trying to get us down here, but this day, right, we went over on Foot and Industrial, okay, to, what is it? One of the places where you get jobs, okay, an employment office like that, the temp service, right? And the lady said that she had a sales job, and she wanted me to come back tomorrow, but she wanted me to go get a shirt, tie, all that stuff, right? So my sister took me to the thrift store. We found a shirt, tie, all that good stuff, and we was gonna go back the next day. So when she came to get me the next day, she said she had a dream, and God spoke to her and told her not to take me back over there, to take me over here in Forest Park. So we ended up over here in Forest Park on Old Dix. I think it's Forest Park Road. Okay, or at the time it was a Kmart warehouse. Okay. And so while we was in there, people was in there doing applications and stuff, and it was this looked like a bum white man just standing over in the corner, and he was just seemed to be mumbling, right? And like when you finally paid him attention and heard what he was mumbling, he was like, J.C. Penney around the corner is hiring, and they're hiring on the spot. But like I said, it sounded like he was mumbling. And then I'm like, excuse me? And he was like, he said it again, J.C. Penney around the corner is hiring, and they're hiring on the spot. And like I hadn't got my application in here yet. And I looked at my sister and I was like, did you hear what he said? And she was like, what? He said J.C. Penney around the corner is hiring, and they're hiring on the spot. And she was like, you want to go around there? And I was like, okay. So we left and we went around the corner to J.C. Penney's, which was right around the corner. You go down the street, here go the corner, you go down there go J.C. Penney's. Okay, and we went up in there, and it was a staffing agency, in there. I think it was called Superion, and it was a staffing agency in J.C. Penney's, right? And we went in, and everybody would fill out the application. They was doing interviews right there on the spot, okay? And so, like, people was going in, they get their interviews, and then they would come back out with a sheet of paper and whatnot, and the sheet of paper would have, like, directions to the clinic where they would go do their drop at, right? Like everybody was going in, coming back out with the sheet of paper and whatnot, and this meaning that, hey, they got to go take their piss test and they potentially got a job, right? So I went in, and I interviewed, and when I went down there, I had this, but it was more pronounced. At the time I had just one long, it was just one big braid like this, coming down the middle and whatnot. And like I spoke with Curdell and my sister, and she had said, like, if you get a job, you're going to cut that thing off, right? And I was like, if I get a job, yeah, I'll cut it off, because that was my personality. At the time, I had this, like I said, it was just the one, but it was hanging, okay? And it was thicker. And so I interviewed, and the lady told me this, step back out, okay? She didn't give me no paper. And then guy came in behind me, and then he came out with a paper, and I'm thinking, damn, why I didn't get a paper? So she called me back in, and she asked me, she was like, well, if I offer you the job, how soon can you start? Hey, I can start tomorrow, okay, all right, and okay. She told me, she was like, I don't know why, but I'm going to offer you the job. Now, the guy that was before you, he's more qualified, but for some reason, I didn't like his attitude, and I'm going to offer you the job. It's t-shirt, shorts, because it get hot back there and whatnot, but if I offer you the job, that thing down there, can you, can I cut it off? Oh, no problem. I told her about how I talked to my sister about if I get a job, blah, blah, speed. Okay. And she was like, well, you come start tomorrow, blah, blah, speed, this and that. Now, I think back to things that Joel said. Okay. I think back to some of the things when you can look back and you can see where God has intervened in your life. Okay, here it is. We're all the way on one side of town. The lady say, hey, come back tomorrow. We got a sales job for you. Nothing I like. Last thing I want is sales. If it don't sell itself and I ain't got to say nothing, I don't even want to do it. Okay? And you wouldn't even believe, like they say doughboys could be a good businessman because of all the different features that they do. But the thing about me was, hey, I pick products that sell themselves. With drugs, you don't even have to sell. They sell themselves. Even though, there is some marketing into it. But my point was, like I say, when you can look back, okay, we over here, and she says she have a dream, and God tell her, don't go there, go here. And we go here, and then all of a sudden there's a man over here that's just mumbling and telling you to go here. It's like he's just directing every step. Hey, Curdell, no, I don't want him over there. I need you to take him over here. Over here, you're going to find a man who's going to give you directions on where to go next. Okay, and what then when I send you there, I'm going to have this person over here. I'm going to touch her, and she's going to give him the job. Like Joel said, have you ever had something where they say, I don't know why, but I'm just called to do it for you. That's basically what she said. I don't know why. He's better qualified. He's more qualified, but I don't like him. I like you. That's God's blessing. That's God's favor on you. Okay, at this time, here, go here, go here, go here, go here, and I'm going to have this do this. Go here, and I'm going to have him over here. Go here, and I'm going to touch them. Okay, those are times that you can look back and see God work in my life. Okay, and all through, I forgot really what my point was, because when I get to speaking like that, I remember that time there. Okay? I'm not even going to worry about what my point was. Oh, my sheep. Okay? My sheep. Now, it started off like I told you about the child support. Okay? I told you about how God directed me down here. All right? And these things like that. How Jay Morrison said over 2 years ago when I first started in this class, hey, take advantage of this. You should be posting 3 times a day. Do this, do this, do this. And none of it registered at the time. But 2 years later, here it is. I'm 80 days in. 80 days in. Just imagine where I would be if I'd have done this at that time. Okay? I probably would be on my way somewhere. But then, too, I also have to think, like I say, God does things at His time, in His time, okay? He is the one that says, hey, He is the one that puts the favor and put the grace on the situation, okay, as to where you have grace to do a situation. If you want to stop a habit, okay, God will bless you with that grace to stop that habit, but it'll be at a certain time, okay? That grace will not always be there, and you have to heed His warning when He tells you to do something and do it, okay? You can't just say, put it off, well, I'll do it later, or I really don't want to. If He says stop now, then stop now. Don't find a reason to keep going, okay? And He will bless you like that, and those are the things that, and when I say my sheep, like I say, somebody that has it hard like I do, okay? You wouldn't, like I said, child support has been taking money ever since then, ever since I've been down here. From the minute I first, I came down here, I worked for like 6 months. The lady there, she didn't like me, all right? She went out of her way to try and make me quit. But hey, I didn't quit. They had to let me go. I filed for unemployment. Unemployment said, hey, you haven't worked here long enough to build up unemployment, because I worked from July to January, okay? And she was like, but you have unemployment built up in Michigan. And I'm like, I never had a job in Michigan. But come to find out that for the 10 years that I took care of Keto when she was paralyzed from the neck down, for those 10 years and drew a check from the state of Michigan, all right, it started off at $333, it ended up with $777, okay, over them 10 years, okay, but that check was always there, and it was like, well, you worked for the state of Michigan for 10 years, so you have unemployment built in there, okay, and I filed that, and like when I got my first check, it was automatically cut in half, okay? And half of it went straight to FOC. At the time, I didn't have the vaguest idea who FOC was. I'm saying to myself, FOC, what is FOC? FOC, and somebody informed me, FOC means friend of the court. Friend of the court, what is friend of the court doing taking my money? What, child support? What child support? I don't have no child support, okay? The government, the state took my kids a long time ago. 14, 15, 16 years ago, they took my kids. What child support? All right, so then comes the investigation. All right, that's where I go to try and find out what child support is this state of Michigan taking my money for. All right, now I come to find out they're taking my money for Janice, William, and Melissa, the 3 kids that I said was adopted by the same lady. Same, changed their names and everything, and these are kids that the state is charging me child support for. Okay? Then also while I'm down here after I got laid off, now I always heard it somewhere, okay, but me myself, I gotta touch the stove. Okay, I gotta touch the stove. I gotta see if it's hot. But somebody had said that, hey, down here they do background checks. Okay, so when I came down here, I had violated parole. I had been on violated parole for 2 years. Never told nobody. Didn't even tell my sister when she came and got me. Okay, I've been hiding in the house on East Line for 2 years. You know, police, they even stopped coming to look for me. after Keita laid there one day while I was hiding in the back bedroom and told him, look, he ain't here, he ain't been here, he ain't gonna be here. If you find him, kick him in his butt for me or whatnot. And they just stopped coming. Okay, and I just sat there at the house with her and got high for the next 2 years. Okay, until she passed. And then when she passed, I moved down here. All right, and like I say, when I got down here, got me an apartment, got a job, right, and working good, paying light bill, gas bill, water bill, rent, paying all these bills that I've never paid for the first time ever. Okay, and when I got laid off and I started to look for other jobs, that's when I started to hear that down here in Georgia, they do background checks. Okay, and what they do is if they find out you got an open warrant, they'll call you and tell you, hey, come on in, we want to give you an interview. And then when you get there, they got the police waiting on you. You know, they some dirty people, dog. So I decided that, hey, before I let that happen to me, I'll go ahead and turn myself in and go back to Detroit and do what I got to do. All right, because I flat out, I got an apartment, I got a job, I had a job, I got bills, responsibilities, something I ain't never had. I had $2 in my wallet, something I really didn't carry. Had $2 in my wallet for I don't know how long, catching the bus on a card and everything else, and didn't even know I had the $2 because I'm running around, I didn't even know I had cash. I stopped carrying cash because now I got a debit card, okay? I'm living a life that I knew nothing about for 40-something years when I moved down here. Okay, so I decided, like I said, I'll turn myself in. I'll go back to Detroit, turn myself in. Okay? Because if I go on an interview and they arrest me and throw me back, I lose everything. So I figure I'll make a plan. And like my sister said, if you ever want to make God laugh, tell him your plan. And I had a plan, okay? Do public storage, $1 for the first month, put all my stuff in storage. My mother would stay with Curdale for a minute. I would go back, turn myself in. Being that I didn't catch a new case in the state of Michigan, you got 2 years parole, okay? And if, let's say you do a year and a half and you got a half a year left, okay, and you abscond and you be gone for 10 years. When they catch up with you, they want their half a year. Okay, a lot of places, your parole start over, this and that, they want their half a year, okay? So, by me absconding, all right, when I came back, turned myself in. And the funny thing about that was, it tripped me out because I turned myself in on, I think it was the weekend, and it was like, look here, we closed, come back Monday. And I was like, say what? They was like, yeah, we closed, come back son. Because when I walked into this police station, I told him, I was like, my name is Michael Sykes, I come turn myself in. I got a warrant for my arrest for violation of parole. He was like, man, come back Monday, we closed. Okay, so I had my daughter, because I packed up everything, caught the bus on back to Detroit. All right, and I stayed with my daughter, and I had my daughter go drop me off. And when they told me that, I had to run out the building and try and catch her before she got away, you know, so that, hey, I can go back home and stay till Monday. And I done that, and the point of the story was, like, it's how he moved things, okay, how I ended up down here in Georgia, okay. And so that is who will resonate with the videos that I produce, okay? That is who will resonate. Somebody, like I say, somebody that is still out here busting their butt, still going, okay, even though, hey, child support take half of their check for the first 5 years, okay? No, I can't say, okay, like I say, I got them first checks for the first couple of months, went back to Detroit, turned myself in. Instead of me having to do, like I say, since I didn't have a new charge, all you do is you go to TRV, Technical Rule Violators Camp, okay? And you do couple of 90 days or something like that in the camp. You do like 90 days in the camp, then they reinstate your parole, okay? For the first 30 days, you know, you got to drop and shit. And I smoked so much, that when I dropped, I didn't get. They made me drop every week. I was 5 weeks before I was clean. And then once you clean, then you get to go out on the yard, and you get to go out on crew and everything else, and shit. You get to go out in the world and whatnot, clean up the parks and things like that, smoke cigarettes, and you do that for 90 days, 75 to 90 days. Then they throw you back out. And my plan was do this. Then when they reinstate me, ask them if I can transfer my parole down to Georgia. Okay, so that I can move down here because I didn't want to stay in Detroit. And I stayed with my grandmother on my father's side, on the east side, and my daughter lived around not too far from there. And the lady at the parole office told me that you might as well just walk this down. Because seriously, by the time you pay the money, do the paperwork, we send the paperwork to Georgia, they get it, they process it, and then they send it back. By the time all that happened, you'd be off parole. So that's what I did. I walked it down. I made another plan, game plan, flat out. I'm going back to Georgia. I'm going to do this, and such, this and that. Okay. In the process, I started to look for a wife. I started to look for another wife. Down in Georgia, I met a female for the last couple of months, it was from October to I got laid off. When I got laid off, Georgia women are fickle. When I got laid off, it was like, maybe this ain't gonna work. Oh, damn, because I ain't got a job. It's like that, so no problem, And the killing part about that is she had tried to get me to leave my apartment with my mother. Ain't no need you staying here mostly. You might well let that go because ain't no need you paying rent in 2 places. Paying rent in 2 places, let it go. That's mine. This yours. I ain't stupid. The minute I'll say something wrong and we out here butt fucking nowhere. Oh, no. She got mad about that. No. And like I say, it was cool. It was all good. All love. But like I say, I looked for me a female, and one of my criteria was, hey, letting you know right now, I'm just walking this parole down, but as soon as it's over with, I'm Georgia bound. You with that or not? If you ain't with that, kick rocks. Okay, I ran into a couple of females like that. That's let them know. Ain't no need in us trying nothing unless you coming back to Georgia with me. If you ain't coming back to Georgia, then hey, hit it quick. That's it. Okay, ran into one. Like I said, I've been married 14 years ever since then, okay? And I'll come back to Georgia. But like I said, I come back. First job I got, it was a good job. It was a real good paying job. It was at PVH, Aero Shirts. It was good paying. You work on commission, work on productivity, okay? The more you produce, the more you make. I was making good money there, like about, anywhere from $700 to $1,400 a week. Child support was only taking like $250, still leaving me good money, anywhere from $500 to